people that are likely to join a cult are the ones that are, we would call, vulnerable. It can be people with lower self-esteem, they can be bullied, for example. It can be people with low education, people without a job. And then this group provides them with security. A cult is a small group with a strong leader that performs behavior that is outside the law oftentimes. So oftentimes they do things that are illegal, and the cult fulfills the needs of the group to feel attached to other people. Both structure and meaning are two ways in which cults give people a sense of self-esteem. There's a number of types of cults. An important type is the religious cults, where we have, for example, Church of Scientology, with the actor Tom Cruise as an important, member of that group. We have, for example, in Jamaica, a Rastafarian group, of which Bob Marley is a most important example. A third religious group is the Jehovah's Witness group, of which the artist Prince is an important example. They're doing things that you might say, slightly off the normal track, but then it does involve and it can attract a lot of people, and also like famous people. Then, so in addition to the religious cults, there are also cults, and sometimes overlapping with a clear doomsday scenario. So they think, okay, the world is coming to an end, and we've got to prepare for that ending. And sometimes that involves suicide on a particular moment in time. You also have what they call the destructive cults, of which Jim Jones was an important example. He had, I think, more than 1,000 followers at one point, and more than 900 of them committed suicide after their group had been threatened by rumors that there was sexual abuse and financial scandals. And so that's an example of a destructive cult. You've also political cults, and there's some overlap with perhaps terrorist groups or radical groups. These groups think that there's something wrong in the world. Can be that there are too many immigrants coming, can be that they think that their religion is being threatened, and they think that the current government is not doing enough about that issue. And they think that violence is the only manner to change things, because that violence instigates fear or terror. That's why it's called terrorism. Of course, you can see examples of cults that attract attention because of the fatalities. Like the Jim Jones movement is the most important example, I think, where more than 900 people killed themselves in French Guiana. If you look at the documentary about the Jim Jones movement, that lasted from 58 till 78, so 20 years, you can see the changes in that group. And at first, you can see lots of footage where people having a great time, enjoying themselves, finding peace and security in that group. Only later it became clear that there were certain more illegal practices going on, for example, sexual abuse, but also people were persuaded to doing things that they normally would not have done, which resulted in questions by the Congress in the US. And so then they felt threatened. Then they left the US actually for another place, like another country in French Guiana. And again, there were questions about what's happening there, and there was a senator going there to find out what was happening there, and that felt very threatening to Jim Jones. And then he persuaded his followers to commit suicide by drinking poison. So these are examples of groups that have ended very badly, but they started out in a very positive manner. Where to go if you want to escape cults? I don't know that much about it. I do know that for extreme right-wing people who are members of extreme right-wing groups in various countries, including Germany, the Netherlands, Norway, there are the groups called Exit, and this group of people will help people leave the extremist right-wing scene or group. They do that by providing them with alternative housing. Oftentimes that's an important step to move to another city or place, to move, physically from the movement or the group that you're a part of. They also help you with finding another job or finding another education, finding friends, new hobbies, and that's been a very successful strategy, because it's one thing to persuade people to move from a sect or from a cult, but it's another thing to make them happy in their new lives, and that is not easy, but this exit group helps them.